Hey there, and welcome back to the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker, and I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. You can find me on Ravelry as Knit Pip and Pin and on Instagram as Pip and Pin. Today is October 4th, and this is episode 73. And honestly, I'm a little bit sad. Only because it is October 4th, and it is not an appropriate temperature to wear a sweater. I walked my daughter to school this morning in a t-shirt and jeans and was slightly too warm. She's been wearing shorts for the past month, and it is hot. The other day it was 28 degrees outside. So yeah, not excited about that. I haven't gotten to wear any sweaters or have any cozy, stormy nights or anything of the sort. It's dry and not fall. It's still very much the end of summer here, and it's October. And it's awful. It's so bad. So yeah, that's what's been happening here. And like I live in a we live in a temperate rainforest here. It rains all the time, and it's been so dry that usually by now the leaves are starting to turn, and they are a little bit, but mostly what's happening is the trees are just letting their leaves shrivel up and fall off. So because it's not wet enough, because there's not enough rain, then they don't turn and fall off. They just shrivel up and die. And so we don't have any fall colors. We don't have the temperature. No, it's just terrible. I tried wearing my boots the other day, not even winter boots, just my normal boots. No, I'm still wearing Birkenstocks. It's terrible. There's no sweater weather for me. But on to nicer things. I did have a giveaway at the end of our last episode, so thank you to everyone who stuck around to the very end, because you saw that giveaway. We had about over 60 people enter, so thank you so much. And I did a kind of random comment picker thing, and our winner is Sarah Friend. And so Sarah, you're going to get a skein of this Fiddly Dye Works yarn in the Mia colorway, which is very beautiful and very fall. And I asked what you are most looking forward to this fall, and she said, looking forward to the cooler weather. Me too. And then she says, well, and for my baby to be born this fall. So congratulations so much, Sarah. I'm sorry. It's just, there's guys working on the roof behind us. I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but they're there's a wall there, and then that's a flat roof there, and they're redoing the flat roof. So he's all concerned about it. Anyway, so yes, congratulations, Sarah, on your win of the yarn. I will send you a package in the mail, but more importantly on your baby. That is very exciting news. So just get in contact with me. You can send me an email with your address, and I'll put together a little something for you and pop it in the mail. I don't think I have any other giveaway things to do this episode, but maybe next time I'll have something for you guys. To jump right, I almost fell off the windowsill. To jump right into some knitting stuff, I do have a finished object to share, and these are the socks I was working on last time. These are just a pair of plain vanilla socks. The gray is Picks Stroll in gray, and this is a beautiful hand-dyed yarn that I just cannot remember who it's by or what it is, but it's lovely regardless. And I just kind of used my basic sock recipe. I like to cast on 64 stitches on a US 1. I knit them from the top down, so I did 2x2 rib for the cuff, and then just a vanilla plain stockinette for the body. I did a heel flap and gusset because I find that tends to give me enough room in my foot area, this part here. And I did a slip stitch heel flap just to give it a little more cushion back there. Yeah, so these are very basic socks. I did have to knit 3 of them because, of course, my first one was too tight. But I'm glad that I did knit the 3rd one and make it bigger and the right size so I can actually wear them, because I got into the bad habit again of knitting socks that are too small, and if they are just slightly too small, I will not put them on. I won't put them on in the morning. Even if they fit while they're on, getting them on. If getting them on is too hard, I won't. So just have to knit bigger socks. The other day, though, I was babysitting my nephew, and he was wondering if I could knit him some socks because I was knitting a pair of socks while I was over there. And I'm not going to knit a pair of socks specifically for a child because their feet grow so fast. And I did it once, maybe twice for Georgia. And yeah, their feet just grow so fast that she was already out of them by the time I had finished them. So no, not worth it. But I did tell him that I have a bunch of socks that are too small for me, and I don't know anybody with smaller feet than me, and he's 7. So his feet are getting bigger. So I said, well, if you want to, next time you're over, I can bring them out, and if there's any that you like, then you can have them. So he was very excited about that. So my small socks are not going to waste. They will get worn by somebody someday. For works in progress, I do have another pair of socks that I started. They are green. I don't think I used a pattern for them. I'm just kind of making something up. But of course, when I was babysitting my nephews, I left it at my sister's house. So I don't have those with you. Can't share them, but I'm sure you'll see them in a couple weeks. The next time I podcast, I will make sure I have them. The other thing I was working on, and I'm so close to finishing, I probably would have finished this last night. I could have if I really tried, but I ripped some of it out and redid it just because. And that is the Fernwood cardigan, which is a test knit I'm doing for Jane Richmond. So this is a pattern that is not out yet, but will be soon. And it is amazing so far. I'm really just about done. I think last time I didn't have the sleeves quite yet, but yeah, I have 2 sleeves. I have a whole body. There's the other sleeve tucked up in there. And it's this beautiful, like all over double moss or double seed. Double moss stitch? I don't know, but it's this beautiful, beautiful texture. It's all squishy and giant. It's with super chunky yarn. I'm using Lion Brand Wool Ease Thick and Quick in charcoal. So it's like this wool acrylic blend, very inexpensive and affordable, which is awesome. And I am loving this so much. I also have, last night I did the pockets. So these patch pockets are going to be going on the front, of course, of the cardigan. And the only thing that I really have left to do is the front band. And if you watched last week, I did have the front band done, I think, because she gets you to do it before the sleeves. But I just wasn't happy with how my stitches were laying, and I figured I could do it better. So I ripped it out and just have to re-knit the band. But I'm just going to throw it on for you because, I'm going to get all tangled up here, but it is going to be so cozy. So yeah, all it needs is a button band, and it kind of goes down to like my thigh, so it's quite a bit longer. And then it has these big cozy sleeves, big pockets. Oh, it's just going to be so wonderful. And maybe this is what's, keeping the weather. Maybe I just need to finish this sweater and then the weather will turn. I'm hoping that that's the case because I really want to wear this and it needs to get colder. It's too hot, but lovely. And that's it. Those are really the only 2 things that I have on my needle at the moment. Justin's sweater, last week I kind of talked about the other things that I have been planning, and Justin's sweater is next up on the list. But I'm not using a pattern for that. So I took his measurements. That was the one step we needed to do before I could start. Took his measurements, and I'm just going to wing the pattern because we're going to start at the bottom and go up. And then he wants it to be like Henley with buttons. And that's kind of just what I did with his last sweater. And it worked out really great. I didn't use a pattern or anything. I just made my swatch and then based measurements on that. And it worked out fantastic. So I'm just going to do that again. So I just have to cast it on. But I'll probably finish up the Fernwood first and then cast it on because I don't know. I don't like having too many projects on the go at one time. I just like things to get finished. Yeah. And I don't get bored easy, so. So yeah, that's next up. So next episode, there will be a new cast on and a pair of socks that you haven't seen yet. So that's about it for knitting. But there is lots of other stuff that I have to talk about. On Sunday, I went, what was I doing? I don't know exactly what I was doing, but I just got really inspired to bust out my beading stuff. And sometimes I make like progress keepers and stitch markers out of beads. And so yeah, that's what I did on Sunday was made some little sets and some little theme sets because I found these little guys and they're little skulls. They're little stone skulls. So I made some Halloween sets and that has the skull stone on the progress keeper and then this like flower, this ceramic flower on top. And so that is, this big long one is the progress keeper. And then I just kind of did some matching, coordinating progress keepers because I don't usually make matching sets, but just some other ones with some glass beads and some stone beads. And so I will package those up. So we have a red one, or one with red flowers. And this one is black with a little bit of red accent in the progress keeper. We have a couple of those going in. We have this kind of green and purplish set. And then I did some that were not so Halloween-y, but more fall because I'm missing fall. So we have some kind of red and orange, mostly glass. These ones are all glass beads. And then this one has some like purple and yellowish. And I thought those ones were really nice too. No, Fred. You can't go up there, buddy. No. What are you trying to do? Okay. No, you can't sit there. Over here. So yeah, I have a couple of each of these sets and I'm going to hopefully have them up in the shop. On Friday. Sorry, you're aggravated now and on a scratching post. I'll probably take some pictures tomorrow and package them up and make them look all pretty and then hopefully be able to get them up into the shop on Friday because I really want them available before Halloween. I mean, I like these even just like not Halloween, but they're a little bit themey. So yeah, if you haven't yet, definitely sign up for our newsletter because you will be first to know when these hit the shop because there's just a few because I wanted to do them. I was inspired. The other thing that is happening on October 11th is the Sprocket Sweater release. So I think I showed it last time or the time before that. I don't have it here with me at the moment, but I did do photos with my sister at a lake a while ago, but I just I was having a really hard time editing them. For some reason, they just weren't looking how I wanted them to look. So on the one single cloudy day that we've had this past month, after school, I just grabbed Georgia and went to a field with my tripod. And so we took a couple of shots and they turned out perfect. So, so it was definitely worth it to go and do a second photo shoot with them. Just with my tripod, they worked out great. And then Georgia, there was some like dead things, not dead things, but like dead plants, kind of in this field. So she made me a bouquet of flowers to hold, and it just made everything perfect. And she was my little photography assistant. It was sprinkling a little bit, so she would hold the umbrella over the camera so that it didn't get wet. And I just used my phone as like a remote. And so in a lot of the ones, like a lot of the time, I just had her kind of sitting below me almost, like out of the frame. And then she was holding up the thing so I could see what the picture was going to look like. And then she was clicking the buttons to actually like take the pictures. So that was actually really fun and really cute that she really got to participate in that with me. It was pretty awesome. So if you sign up for your newsletter, you will also get a bigger discount on the Sprocket Sweater release. So, yeah. The other thing, and I totally forgot about this. So I have done Knit City every single year since it was started. I have been a vendor there with my sister. And this year was the first year that I decided not to do it. And I didn't have a like big reason, but honestly, we've never really made a ton of money at Knit City. And it was mostly we just wanted to be there to like network with people and talk to people. And it was always kind of hard because patterns are a lower price point for sure. And printing the patterns was just getting so expensive to do ourselves on that kind of small scale. So we just decided not to. It was hard because we were always trying to like find other things to sell, to kind of make up for that. Like we always were selling our patterns kind of at cost, and then anything else was what was making us money. And just really fun weekend, but a lot of work for sure. And for the networking purposes, I kind of just realized I can just go and do that. So, sorry, I don't know what's going on with my computer. Oh, there we go. Keeps trying to want to go to sleep, but I think I fixed it. Okay. Sorry. So I decided that we didn't really need to do all that because I could just go there and talk to people. Initially, too, I had wanted to book a room at the Atrium, which is the hotel that's kind of right next door to where the thing is. And I guess I missed when they said that it was booking for that or something, and it sold out right away. So I could not get a room at the Atrium. So I did, like a long time ago, I booked a room at the Waldorf, which is about a 20-minute walk down the street. And it's quite a ways, but I was like, you know what, I can take a taxi, it's fine. The only thing is it's on Hastings Street, and if you know anything about Vancouver, there are some really shady kind of areas, and I just had a weird kind of feeling about it. So I was reading about some reviews and things like that, and you actually like need a card to be able to get in the front door, and there was some complaints about kind of people's cars getting broke. You're in an open lot, and I just didn't have a good feeling about it, and I didn't think that I would have a good time being there by myself. So I canceled that. Did not want to be at a sketchy hotel by myself, away from everybody, because part of the Knit City weekend and staying in Vancouver is like staying at the atrium with all the knitters, and then you can go downstairs to the pub and sit in the lobby and all that kind of stuff. So it just wouldn't have been the same. So I decided to just drive in. I live about an hour away from Vancouver, so it's not too crazy. So on the Saturday, we went with a couple of girlfriends, and in the afternoon, and then we went out for dinner and had a very lovely evening and went for a walk on some place that I had never been before, so that was really cool. And then on Sunday, I actually took Georgia in the morning because kids 12 and under were free to get in, so she actually came with me in the morning, and she got to experience Knit City as well. And it was really funny because I actually completely forgot that Knit City was coming up. So I think I sent Sam a text on Wednesday, and I was like, oh, it's Knit City this weekend. What's the plan? Because usually I'm planning for Knit City for months. And of course I know it's coming up because I'm a vendor. But no, I had no idea until the very last minute, basically, that it was even happening, and I had already bought tickets for the marketplace and things like that. So it was very strange. Also, when I first walked in and started looking around the markets and things like that, I was still in vendor mode because I was rushing to do everything, because when it was just me and Katie being vendors, I didn't want to leave her alone at the booth for too long. So if I wanted something, I kind of had to go and get it and then come back quickly. And there was no perusing. So I had to consciously be no, I can spend 10 minutes in this booth and look around. I can spend a little bit of time doing this. So that was a little bit of an adjustment, but it was really lovely to walk around and to be able to talk to people and see all the other vendors and actually have a chance to talk to them and meet people, other people who are shopping. So it was really lovely, and it definitely filled my cup the same way it did as a vendor. It just wasn't as exhausting. So I don't think that we will be doing Knit City again, but it's still a very lovely weekend, and I will absolutely hopefully I'll be a little more on the ball next year, because I do want to spend the weekend there, at the atrium and do the whole thing. But yeah, next year we'll do that. Having those 2 days and just driving in was absolutely a lot of fun as well. So what did I get at Knit City? A lot. I didn't really mean to, but I didn't really go in with a plan either. So there was quite a lot of stuff, and I feel like I have enough projects now that I don't need to buy yarn for a really long time. And I feel like I hear podcasters say that a lot. It's oh, I'm not going to buy anything, da, 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 da. But really, I can't, because I already have some designs that I'm working on. I have lots of yarn for sweaters and things that are going to happen. And I literally don't have any more space for yarn. So I can't buy anymore. I'm not quite even sure how I'm going to put all this stuff away, but we'll see. So I'll start with Saturday and Sunday were definitely different vibes. So we'll start with Saturday, which is where I bought kind of the stuff for me. So I'll go through that first. Let me get it all out here. Okay, I'll start at the beginning. So the first thing that caught my eye was this beautiful color I'm not sure how it's going to show up. Like that. It's this kind of dusty, dirty pink. And I'm laughing because how typical. But it just is so beautiful. I kind of did go in there with a little bit of a plan. I didn't really want to buy any more fingering weight yarn because I have quite a bit of it and I just didn't feel like I needed any more. But they didn't have this in a DK or anything else, so I did get it because it was just too lovely. So I got 4 skeins of it. I have a little bit of an idea what I kind of want to do with it, but I'm not really sure yet. This is by, they're in Quebec, so pardon my French, but Entre sur en Laine. And the colorway name is Garobel. Anyways, I will make sure I put all this stuff down below as well because my French is not great. There it is. There it is, a fingering weight yarn. It's very soft, very lovely. I got enough to make a sweater if I wanted to do it in one color. Now, as I was at this booth, there was also yarns beside it, of course. So I also picked up this kind of white color, and this one, which is olive. It's like a kind of like a sagey gray green. It's looking a little just plain gray, but there is like a little bit of green in it. And then this red, which is terracotta. And so I like all the, oh yeah, that's looking totally gray, but this middle one is actually green. But they look very nice all together. And then the pink, it looks beautiful with the pink as well. So I just kind of got these in case they wanted to be a pop, or they can be something by themselves, or they can be added to something. So yeah, not 100% sure what these are going to become quite yet, but they were just all very lovely. So they all came home with me. Then this was a really, really cool concept. This was at the Tofino Knit Co booth, and they had these little packages. And they were popcorn packages, and I'm covering the yarn because you'll see in a second, but these little popcorn packages, and then in the back, these are the yarns, whatever, it had a little bag of popcorn. And these were actually wrapped up so you couldn't see them. And then it has a movie quote on your ticket. So mine was, they're quite gentle really, but people avoid them because they're different. So if you can tell me what movie that's from, put me down below. And then this is the yarn, and I waited until I got home because I figured Georgia would really want to unwrap this. So I waited until I got home and we unwrapped it. And this is the yarn that it came with. And it's this beautiful, like kind of dark black green. And then this blue things. I don't know if I'm going to use them together. I might. I don't know. I really love this one. That's definitely very me. But this is their Island sock set, which is 2 50-gram skeins of their fingering weight sock yarn. And I just thought it was such a cute concept to have at Knit City. I went back on Sunday to see like how many of them were left, and they were pretty much all sold out. Like, how cute. You have your little thing of popcorn, you have your little mystery yarn, your little popcorn thing, and your ticket, so you kind of had an idea of what the vibe was going for. Yeah, so this was a really fun, this was my most fun thing that I bought, I feel like, because it was a mystery. I don't know, I just thought that was so adorable. Okay, this one's kind of funny because literally every single time I go in to Flock Fiber's booth, wherever she is, because I've seen her at many different places, I pick up this. And I'm probably sure that I've shown this on the podcast many times before, but this is the perfect burnt orange, glowy kind of fall color. Did I just make an entire orange sweater? Am I going to be making Justin an orange sweater? Do I already have an orange sweater that I made? Yes, to all of those things. But this is spiced pecans on her fireside DK base. And there was just enough for a sweater quantity, so I did get it. I don't know, again, I didn't really go in with any plans. I had some vague ideas, but nothing really set in stone. So I just kind of went with my heart. I'm sure this will end up being some sort of design at some point. But I've been in love with this color forever. So I just decided to get it because I have lots of single skeins. I have lots of things like that, but sweater quantities are something that I just don't really. So I did pick up enough where I could make something substantial out of that. The other thing, this is something I've also been thinking about getting for years. Is this Gauge Dye Works. And if you don't know, they do very beautiful self-striping and all sorts of really interesting things. And this is Whiskey in a Teacup. And I remember a few years ago when this colorway came out, and I was holding it in my hands at Knit City, and then I put it down for whatever reason. I was like, oh, I'll get that, tomorrow on Sunday or something. I was probably rushing around and running late of getting back to my booth or something like that. So I put it down, and then it was sold out, and then I just couldn't ever really get it again. Like, I don't think the next year they had it or something. And I didn't want to buy it online because shipping in Canada is ridiculous. So they did have some at this Knit City, so I made sure to pick some up. This is the fingering sock. So it's just straight stripes. They also do ones that are made for like shawls. So if you do a triangular shawl, then the stripes all come out even. I think they even do some that are meant for like yoked sweaters or raglan sweaters. I don't really know, but it really, if you're into like any sort of self-striping things, whatever, definitely check out Gauge. And then this is, I recently just bought a bunch of Italy yarn, but I wanted to get this one. This is their worsted weight superwash merino, and in the colorway Goose. It is showing up quite accurately. It's like this dark brown gray. So it's a really, really warm gray, I would say. And I want a sweater out of this. And I would have bought a sweater quantity of this as well if they had it. But I think they only had this one skein. So I bought it just so I could remember it, maybe make something out of it. But now I know it exists. So I can, and I know her website, and if she doesn't have it in her shop, then I'll just send her an email. Hey, so that yarn, can you dye some for me? She does mostly all dye to order stuff anyways, I think, so it's not very strange. Actually, the Goose with the spice pecans look really nice too. So that's all the yarn that I got, I think. Definitely all muted and lovely. I also got a couple little freebies from Knit and Note, which is like an app for all your knitting stuff, like when you're keeping track of things. It's a new app, and so I got a little tote bag from there, and then Georgia on Sunday got a little tape measure. And then the last thing, this is something I got as I was literally walking out the door. I did get the Knit City Retreat box. This is a very, very good deal. And that came with some really cool things. So this is from Myrtle Yarn. It's Quietude colorway. It's BFL. Yeah. Is this natural dye? I don't know. But, oh no. But good. It has these, BFL and this like beige base, and then it has these kind of bits of purples and pinks, and I'm pretty sure this was the, is it Night City colorway? I don't know exactly, but really, really pretty skein of yarn. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing with this, but the other things that came in here were some tea and some bath stuff and a candle. It smells really good. These are all from Shady Island Botanicals. This is actually the reason why I bought the thing, was because last year there was, who was it? I can't remember, but they had a booth with Caitlin French, I believe, and they were doing bath stuff, and I wanted to get some more, but they weren't there, so I wanted some bath stuff, and I got it, plus some other stuff. And then there was this, which is Gowalin Botanicals, Calque. It's Wild Rose Yarrow Healing Salve. And my mom actually made some of this out of creosote that she had in her garden, and it is magical. So salves are great. And then the last thing, there's also a pattern in here. Maybe I'll make the socks. It's kind of stuck. This is from Winter's Weather Knits, Retreat, Relax, Revive socks. So those are very cute. Maybe I'll make those socks out of that yarn. That would be very lovely. And then the last thing that I dropped on the ground is a natural dye kit. So it comes with a silk scarf and some natural dye stuff, and then it teaches you how to do it. So that was really cool too. I think that's something that George and I will end up doing together. And that was Saturday. I feel like I went a little bit overboard, but I mean, that's literally just going to be all my yarn for all my designing for a long time. And, I was thinking about this as I was buying yarn that I am 80% sure that I'm going to be using for designing. And I do, not often, but I have definitely done a lot of yarn support with different yarn companies. And that is when I kind of reach out to a yarn company and say, hey, I have this design idea. Like, would you want to provide the yarn for it? And then I'll promote your yarn while promoting the pattern, and, vice versa. And usually, I haven't really ever had anyone say no to that. But it's a great way for them to get promotions, and for it's very reciprocal. But I find that there is a little bit of more pressure when doing yarn support, because the idea has to be there. I like it to be really fleshed out. I really want to know what I'm going to be making, so that I can give them a good idea of what it's going to be and when it's going to be released, and all these different things, because I don't just want to take the yarn and then 3 years later, here's the pattern finally. So I find buying yarn for my designs just to be a little less pressure. If I have something in mind that I know that I'm doing, and I have a very specific yarn in mind and all these kinds of things, then yeah, I'll go and ask for yarn support. But recently, especially just with how life is going, that added bit of pressure is really not necessary. So I just buy yarn now, and then don't really have any of those deadlines anymore, which I think is it's great. Anyway, so Sunday I went to Knit City with Georgia, and I went there with the intention I wanted to bring her there to so she could pick out yarn for a sweater. She really wants another mini Montrealer. I made her one last year, and she bore it like mad. She loves it, but I made it slightly too small. So I told her that she could pick out yarn for another one, and I'm just gonna make the biggest one of the mini ones. So I think it's for a 10-year-old. so that it can be super cute and oversized now, and then she'll still have, hopefully a couple of years to grow into it. And I took her to the Lily and Pine booth because if you have ever seen Lily and Pine's yarn, it is bright and fun and beautiful and colorful and 100% like not ever something I would wear or make for myself. But I have an 8-year-old who loves pink and bright things. So it's perfect because I get to knit. I'm really excited to knit something with this super fun yarn that's actually going to get worn by somebody who wears it. So anyway, when I was there on Saturday, I had an idea of what I wanted Georgia to pick out. And to be honest, I did guide her a little bit. But she immediately saw the sweater that I was inspired by. She loved the colors, so we just got the colors. I'm super excited because she picked the exact colors I wanted her to pick. So we are going to do a fade. We're going to do a faded mini Montrealer. And it is going to be these guys, which I think is going to be so fun. It's going from this bright, super bright coral to this beautiful teal. Oh my goodness. What is happening with that? It's not black. Is that what's showing up? That's so weird. That's not the color at all. Let me see if I can fix this. Nope. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, it's not this color. It's actually a like super bright seafoam green with bright speckles of like yellow and purple. And then it fades perfectly. Oh yeah, it just does not like that color. Oh my goodness. Into this coral. Maybe I'll post a picture of her. I did take a picture of her in front of them because she really liked at the Knitter's Lounge. All kind of laid out while we were there. Like this one's showing up fine. Let's see, can I trick it? Do it really fast? No. So weird. Anyways, I'll show a picture of what the fade is going to look like. And yeah, so we have, this is their Aspen worsted. So worsted weight yarn, this is Papaya. This is Peace and Love. Big Top. Pixie Sticks. And Surf's Up. And we actually got 2 of the Surf's Up because I wanted to make sure that I had enough. And so I asked her which of these 2 she wanted more of potentially. So she said the teal or the seafoam. So I got 2 of those. And then if we happen to have extra, which I'm pretty sure we will, then we can make a matching hat or something. So then we also went to Crafty Jackalope and the Yarn Bowler. They had a booth together. And so Janet, who's the Yarn Bowler, who had the bowler with her, which is super cute. It's an actual like little trailer that they brought in, and it's full of pom-poms. I don't know what it is with this color. It does match. It just does not want to pick this up. Let's see if I can. Oh, there we go. Okay. It was on green for some reason. All right. Well. No, it's not doing the white. I don't know. But this is the color that it actually is. There we go. And so she got this pom-pom and this super awesome sparkly thing. So this was a gift from Janet, one of her faux fur pom-poms with the snap on it. They are super soft and lovely and amazing. And then this I'm going to hold together with this so that it gets that sparkle in there. This was also a gift to Georgia from Not So Cute. I don't know what's going on. I got a new camera, a new webcam. Oh, did I fix it? Maybe. I got a new webcam, and yeah, I'm not, I really like it, but that was something new. Here, let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. That's much better. Okay, so that's going to be the fade for her sweater. This is going to be the hat with the sparkle. Much better. All right, and then this was a gift as well with this little sheepy sheep. And we got this, or George got this bag made from, oh, I cannot remember the name of her booth, the name of her shop. I'll put down the name down below, but she actually made this like right in front of us. Georgia picked the applique and the bag, and she ironed it on right there, so that was very fun for her. And then she also, this, you can tell, Sunday was the day for Georgia, not for me. I mean, it was really fun to be there, and like I was actually able to talk to a lot of people on Sunday, which was awesome, but the shopping aspect was for Georgia. So and then she actually got to try out a sock machine as well. They had a sock machine set up in the back, so she got to twist it, and it was just at the end of the yard, so they asked if Georgia wanted to keep it. So I'm going to make her something out of this sock tube. That was really fun. I would love to have a sock machine. I have a knitting machine, like a flat one, but it's down in my storage unit because I don't have any space to use it. And that was Knit City. Yeah, I had a lot of fun going there and being just a person, a shopper. I think next year maybe I'll look into classes and stuff and actually book the hotel and do more of the things. But it was really, really, really fun to go there and see everybody again and talk to everybody again and see people I haven't seen in years. So it's very, very lovely. And that is about it. That's all I really have to talk about. I kind of wanted to start another knit along because I realized I don't have any really events kind of running right now, but I'm at a loss. I don't really know what to do. Because I don't know, I'm just totally out of ideas right now. So if you have any ideas for a knit along that you would want to participate in, let me know. Because I want to start something. I just don't know what it is yet. Yeah, and make sure you are signed up for a newsletter so that you get the kind of Halloween stitch marker shop update notification, and you'll also get notified when the Sprocket Sweater is released, and you'll get a 30% discount code for that. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in a couple weeks. Bye.